First, a special report on the hidden and shattering impact of long COVID on young people across the UK. The Office for National Statistics estimates 71,000 children under the age of 16 are suffering a range of debilitating symptoms. For many, this makes daily life a struggle, badly affects their schooling and risks ruining their formative years. Doctors can't say when or if they'll recover. ITV News heard from two girls whose lives are on hold since catching COVID. Tilly needs a feeding tube after being left with serious stomach problems, and Imani has chronic fatigue and can't go to school. They shared their experiences with our reporter, Chloe Keedy.
The arrival of COVID changed everything. 3 years on, lockdown may be over, but millions are still stuck with the devastating daily reality of long COVID. Many of them children, like 12-year-old Tilly, who wants to raise awareness of how serious this illness can be.
Some days you can cope with it, some days you can't.
When she caught COVID 2 years ago, it attacked her gastrointestinal system. She lost so much weight, she ended up in hospital. And ever since then, she's had to be fed through a tube.
The main one was the stomach pains. She was complaining of really bad stomach pains, where she was like actually bent over, crying out in pain.
Tilly is now back at school part-time, but can't do any of the other things she used to enjoy.
You got to think about not even just that day, you got to think about the next day. Because if we've got something important the next day, I can't do anything that day. Because the next day I'll be really tired and my leg will hurt and I just won't feel well. I try and think all the positives about it and try and think, oh, I'm going to get better, I'm going to get better. But actually, you don't really know.
They're hopeful, that's what they tell me every time. They're hopeful that she will make a recovery, but there's no guarantee.
Which symptom is having the biggest impact upon you at the moment?
I think maybe the fatigue, brain fog, low energy, tiredness.
At Guy's and St Thomas's Hospital in London, they developed a dedicated clinic for children with long COVID. 14-year-old Imani is one of around 50 patients they've seen so far.
When I do a lesson, sometimes I forget what happened.
It's designed as a one-stop shop where each child sees no fewer than 6 different specialists at once to try and help them with the huge range of symptoms long COVID can cause.
The kind of symptoms that she has, the fatigue, the brain fog, the difficulties with transitioning back to school, difficulties with the eating and the diet, they're kind of very common things that we see within the clinic.
The clinicians don't promise to cure those symptoms. Their aim is to help children live with them.
The hope is that with the right intervention, you turn it around more quickly, and we would see some of the young people in our clinic get better within a few months. But on the whole, it's a number of months, and it's about a slowly improving picture. So I think the impact socially for them is huge, and the impact for us as a society is big as well, because these are young people who are fit and healthy, who have a lot to contribute, that need to get better so that they can do what we want them and what they want to do in the future.
Like before this, she was doing squash and swimming, and you know, she can't do that at the moment.
Yeah.
Imani is so exhausted she sometimes sleeps for 18 hours a day, and this is only the second time she's left the house since Christmas.
It's just been hell.
Do you feel like you're making any progress?
I feel like it's slow. I'm slowly getting better.
When did you last go to school?
A year ago, last year, January.
How do you feel about that?
I feel I really miss school, and I miss my friends, and I just want my normal life back.
That doesn't seem too much for a teenager to ask, but for now, all Imani and her parents can do is keep waiting and hoping and living with the effects of long COVID.
Chloe, it's really shocking to hear that children are suffering in this way. Can the treatment offer families any hope?
Yeah, I think that's exactly what it does do, actually. Imani and her parents said to me that really for the first time since she got ill, they feel like they've been heard, like they've been listened to, and like they're being taken seriously. So at Guy's and St Thomas's, they're really proud of this sort of pioneering approach they've taken, where they get all of these experts, from physios to psychologists to dietitians, together in one room. But it's important to say, that there are 14 hubs across England dedicated to helping children with long COVID, and those services are in real demand. They told me when I was at Guy's and St Thomas's that they mainly treat 10 to 18-year-olds, and when I asked them why that was, they said it's probably because children much younger than 10 aren't able to express their symptoms. So look, there are 70,000 children we know about with symptoms of long COVID, but in reality, it's likely to be more.
Chloe, thanks very much for that.